So today is the last Friday of the month, and that can only mean one thing. It's Pinkfresh Friday, hosted by Joanne Bartell, where loads of people who love Pinkfresh join together to create a layout using only Pinkfresh products, plus some other bits and pieces, just from JD 3D Print or Bramble Fox or Flare, but predominantly we're using Pinkfresh products. It is also day 28 of 30 days of sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, and today's sketch that you've just seen there is created by Angela Velazquez. It's a gorgeous sketch with 3 4x6 photos, which I'm actually changing to 3x4 photos. So I'm using my brayer to add some ink to the base of this page, and I'm using Blueprint Sketch because the World Cup sign that I've used as the middle photo on here, I'll explain in a minute the photos, is this kind of a blue, and I wanted to bring the green in because the green on the puppet is that lovely mowed lawn type green. So you can see the photos there. The photos that I'm documenting are of the start of the Rugby League World Cup, and Warrington is one of the hosting towns. So Warrington Borough Council commissioned this puppet to come to celebrate the opening. We went to see it a couple of Sundays ago. It was really great fun. So I'm using the Pinkfresh Studio Simply the Best collection again for this because it's got the lovely greens and reds in it. So I thought it would work really nicely. So now that background is down, as I say, just using my brayer onto the ink pad and then rubbing it across the paper. I'm now creating the mat for the 3 photos to sit on. So I've got 2 photos of the giant and one of the World Cup sign. So just working out the positioning. Once again, I've matted those onto white cardstock just to make them pop a little bit. And then I'm going to distress the edges of this photo mat. The photos will be mounted onto, the 2 giant photos will be mounted onto foam pads, but the World Cup sign I'm going to actually keep flat to the middle of the page just to make those photos of the giants pop a little bit more. So just distressing around those edges, and then we can work out. And I do toy with putting this a different way around on the page, but I'm happy with the way that the inking is, so I just keep it as it is. But it would have looked lovely if I'd turned the paper around like that, so it was vertical rather than horizontal. But I wanted to stick to the photo more or less, the sketch, sorry. So just using my T-ruler to check that this is straight, and then I'll add those photos, as I say, using the foam squares and things. So first of all, gluing down this central one, and then raising the other 2 on the foam pads. And now they're down, I can start embellishing. So I've opened up the ephemera pack from this collection, and I've also got all the pieces that I fussy cut from the 6x6 paper pad. If you've watched any previous videos, you'll have seen me doing that. So I start with this film strip, which I really like, down the left-hand side, and that grey ticket that says Instant Mood Booster. And then I find this flag that says Love Where I Live, which is perfect because it's literally down, we live literally down the road from the town, so we just wandered up that Saturday morning to have a look at what was going on. That Worth the Height ticket again is a fun one to add to this layout. It doesn't actually end up staying down there, but I'm just trying things out really and working out exactly what I want to add to this layout. So here are the pieces that I cut from the 6x6 paper pad. This is an amazing range to create your own embellishments from. I would highly recommend getting the 6x6 pad just to be able to do that. That circle says Legendary, and that's another possibility. And then this that says Everyday Favourite, but it's not quite an everyday favourite, so I decided against that. I love this little flag. It's a tag, and it says Just Feeling Happy. And it was great. We hadn't been out much of late, so it was just lovely to get out for an hour and get some fresh air on our face. The sun was shining. It was a really nice morning. Well, afternoon, it was 1 o'clock we went up. So So just adding some foam tape onto this ticket that says Instant Mood Booster, just to lift it up above that film strip. And I'll stick that down. Not really too sure exactly what else is going there, but I knew that I wanted to add that and that film strip, so popping that down. And then I start playing with things in this bottom left-hand corner. I love that circle that says right here. And that does make it in the end. I'm just having a look to see what else I can find. I don't like using 3 circular elements that are the same size, and that's what I seem to be gearing towards, and I realise that, so quickly change my mind on that. Just having a quick filter through to see what else I can see, and then I see this new flare badge that we've got at Hey Little Magpie. It says Go Explore, and I think that's a really nice one to add to this, and the colours match. It's just blacks and that mustard yellow, so that makes it down there, and it's a different height, so adding more textures to the layout is always great. So just gluing that on. These do come with foam pads on the back, but I hadn't got around to adding a foam pad, so just using my wet glue to stick that down. And then sticking the other bits down. Do you use flare? I'd love to know whether I should continue adding the foam dots to the back of the flare, or whether you're happy to have them just as a flat backed piece that you can glue down like I did there. Do let me know in the comments if you've got any suggestions. Always good to hear from you. So that legendary piece gets added to the left hand side there. I do like adding my circles in groups of 3. It just looks really pleasing to the eye for me. Now going through the 12 by 12 sticker sheet, and I want to build up this cluster in the top right hand corner. So I've grabbed that one of a kind flag, and at the moment I've got that Worth the Hype flag, although I don't think that actually makes it onto the layout in the end looking, and one of the frames from the 6 by 12 frame sheet. So that's going to be the foundation for this cluster up here. I do like that frame. So just checking that I'm happy with the positioning. That lovely flag tag that I've got that says Just Feeling Happy, I really want to make sure that that gets added. And then just trying a few other pieces, but it's looking very blocky. I'm not quite happy. So I know that I want those 3 pieces there, so I just add the foam to that tag, and then some red linen thread through the hole. And I just leave that loose once it's done. Just fiddling about to make sure it's tied together on that top piece. And that's definitely going to go there. And that foam tape just holds up the left hand side because the right hand side is supported by the frame there. So I hadn't realised that I hadn't glued this Love Where I Live piece down, so that gets glued down. I'm just looking for other pieces to fill up this cluster at the top. And I love this ticket, and that just elongates the cluster long enough there to make it more balanced. And that says Enjoying This, and then I find this circle that says Truly Epic, so I'm going to mount that onto foam just to lift it up from that ticket and to add the different dimension. So glue the ticket down. That was another piece that I fussy cut from the 6 by 6 paper pad, and this as well, and then just adding the foam tape to that, as I say, to raise it up, just to add the different layer heights. And that's the layout very nearly done. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do subscribe if you enjoy watching my videos. It's really nice to hear from you in the comments box down below. If you have any questions, do let me know about that flare badge, and check the description box for the other people joining in on this hop. There's a playlist down there of everybody joining in. So just adding a few more pieces. This piece says This Is Home, which again is perfect because it's my hometown. And then I'm going to come in with the chipboard flare and see what else I can add. I want to add a little bit more to that top cluster, and I find a piece that says This Rocks, and it's black, so it's nice and bold, and it sort of balances that one of a kind flag that we've got up there. And then the puffy stickers, just find a few little scattering pieces to add, and this really brings it all together. It brings the colours in, and just ties all those larger elements together by adding these smaller bits there. And while I'm doing this, I'm looking at the background and I just want to add something else. I feel like it's not quite right. So first of all, I'm going to add the title, and the title will simply be Warrington, which is my hometown, using the alphabet stickers from the Simply the Best collection. I won't make you watch all this. It's pretty boring watching me sticking them down, but I wanted it to be a little bit wobbly rather than straight across the page. I think it matches the feel of the layout there. And then the journaling will go in that left hand. You can see that the clusters draw your eye from top right to bottom left, so I wanted to keep that flow. So the journaling is going to be added to that bottom left corner. And it just says, Warrington is a huge rugby league town and honoured to be hosting some of the World Cup matches. In celebration of the opening of the games, the council commissioned this amazing giant. The weather was perfect for his performance through town, starting at Times Square. So as I mentioned, I wasn't quite happy with the background. I wanted to add something. So I've grabbed my acrylic paint in black and my old store card, and I'm just drawing some lines. The photos show Warrington Market. The right hand photo shows Warrington Market, which is quite structural, and also obviously rugby posts are very structural, straight up and down. So I wanted to add some of these lines just to give a nod to that. And I do go a bit mad. I think with hindsight I probably should have stopped pretty soon after adding this one, but I think you get carried away and you keep thinking, oh, I'll just put another one there, or I'll just put another one there. And you can see me struggling a little bit with some of them. It would have been much easier to have done this before I started adding all the embellishments and the photos, but why make life easy? So once these lines are added, I think that really is it now for the layout, other than a date stamp at the bottom below my journaling. So thank you ever so much for joining me again. And that's it for this video. I shall see you tomorrow for day 29. I can't believe we're nearly there now. Thanks again. Bye for now.